Good evening. I'm YAMO. Tonight's report uncovers one of the most extraordinary and lesser-known chapters of Indian Ocean history, the rise of the Sidi community. African-origin warriors who crossed oceans, survived empires, and eventually became some of the most feared naval commanders in South Asia. Their story does not begin in India. It begins along the eastern coast of Africa, in regions that today include Ethiopia, Somalia, Sudan, and parts of the Swahili Coast. For centuries, these shores were connected to the Indian subcontinent through trade networks that carried spices, textiles, soldiers, scholars, and sailors across the Arabian Sea. Among those who traveled these routes were African warriors, many of whom arrived in India as mercenaries, sailors, traders, or, in some cases, enslaved soldiers who later rose to power through military excellence. Over time, these African-origin communities became known in India as the Sidis. What makes their story remarkable is not their arrival, but their rise. By the medieval period, Sidis had established themselves as elite military specialists, particularly in naval warfare. Their physical endurance, maritime experience, and battlefield discipline made them highly valued by Indian rulers, who depended on sea control to protect trade and coastal territories. One of the most powerful centers of Sidi authority emerged along the western coast of India, particularly in the island fortress of Janjira. From this nearly impenetrable naval stronghold, Sidi commanders built fleets that controlled key shipping routes along the Konkan coast. Janjira was famous for something almost unheard of in Indian military history. It was a fortress that remained unconquered despite repeated attempts by rival empires. The Sidis served multiple powers across history. They commanded naval forces under regional sultanates, later worked with Mughal administrations, and often navigated complex alliances between emerging regional kingdoms and expanding European colonial fleets. Their naval knowledge allowed them to confront Portuguese, Dutch, and later British maritime ambitions along India's western coastline. Perhaps most interesting was their role during the rise of the Maratha Empire. While the Marathas were building one of India's earliest organized naval forces, the Sidis remained their most formidable maritime rivals. Battles between Maratha fleets and Sidi naval commanders became legendary across coastal India, shaping the naval warfare traditions of the region. Yet the Sidis were never simply outsiders or mercenaries. Over generations, they integrated into Indian society while maintaining distinct cultural and historical identities. They adopted local languages, intermarried with regional populations, and developed unique cultural traditions that blended African heritage with Indian influences. Today, Sidi communities still exist in parts of Gujarat, Karnataka, Maharashtra, and Hyderabad. While their political and military power has faded with the end of imperial naval warfare, their presence remains a living reminder of the Indian Ocean world, a world where continents were connected not by colonial borders, but by shared trade routes, cultural exchange, and maritime mobility. The story of the Sidis challenges conventional narratives of history. It reminds us that globalization is not a modern phenomenon. Centuries before modern nation-states, African warriors could rise to command fleets in South Asia, defend fortresses against empires, and leave behind legacies that continue to shape regional identity. History is often told through empires and kings, but sometimes it is carried across oceans by communities whose journeys redefine what civilization and belonging truly mean. For History Watch, I'm YAMO. Good night.